good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Steve Rogenstein. I'm Honeybee Watch's project director and your host today. And I'm joined by my colleague, Arrigo Moro, who is Honeybee Watch's science director. Today is the second of our four events in the 2026 Symposia series, now in our fourth year. And we'll learn about a style of beekeeping that dates back millennia and which for today's beekeepers might seem kind of exotic and for others might feel very typical. So I'm just going to start briefly with an introduction to Honeybee Watch for anybody who's not familiar with us. We are an international coalition tasked with better understanding how free-living honeybees survive with little to no human intervention. And by free-living, we mean bees that have chosen where they want to live, whether that be in trees, in log hives, buildings, holes in the ground, wherever. And our aim is to develop nature-based solutions to lower the mortality rates of managed colonies, increase beekeeping sustainability, and ultimately protect threatened wild populations around the world. In our 6 years, we've located more than 2,000 nest sites on 5 continents, mostly found by our research partners and by citizen scientists, perhaps like you. And if you'd like to participate and you know of any free-living colonies, we encourage you to go onto our reporting platform and enter your information and then tell us a little bit about where these nests are located and a couple characteristics about them. What we've also added to this is a monitoring program, and we encourage people who have identified where there are free-living colonies to visit them 4 times a year, observe them at the entrance, and take down some notes as to their survival and other kind of activities. Some other things that we've done at Honeybee Watch, we assembled a task force of experts to reassess the IUCN Red List status of wild Apis mellifera in Europe, which concluded last year with the new designation of endangered. We're also part of a Biodiversa Plus research study called Free Bee, and we are extensively studying free-living colonies in France, Ireland, Poland, Portugal, and Sweden. And you can learn more about that on our website. And both Free Bee and the IUCN work that we did were featured in the past with Symposia, and we recorded those and uploaded those videos onto our resources webpage, which you can view at your leisure. And that is where we have various papers and articles, links to websites, others videos, and all of the speakers from the past from our Symposia series. So if you want to browse that resources webpage, it's a great place to learn more about free-living colonies, about our research, about other people's research, about tree beekeeping, and more. And then lastly, we have a YouTube channel where you can find all of our videos. And if you haven't already, you can follow us on Instagram. So that's kind of the peanut-sized nutshell of Honeybee Watch. So what I'd like to do is dive right into today's program, which is titled Tree Beekeeping from Around the World. For many, tree beekeeping is an exotic style of apiculture, whereas for others, it's super common. And for those unfamiliar with it, in general, it's where bees have been living in natural tree cavities or are housed within human-made hollows, whether that's carved out of a live tree or in logs or sculpted out of other materials and then hung in trees. There's a wide array of hive types and management styles within the field of arboreal apiculture, and we wanted to highlight that diversity. So you'll see some of that variety today. We have 4 guests who are going to be sharing their tree beekeeping journeys and stories from the country Georgia, from Ghana, Poland, and Zimbabwe. And what we'll also hear are the unique characteristics of tree beekeeping from a historical, cultural, and practical perspective, and the similarities too between these 4 different countries. And we hope that their stories will inspire you as it has us. And so I would like to begin. I met our next guest also at Apimundi in Copenhagen. He was participating in a panel about alternative hive designs. And Papa presented his work with bees for development in Ghana and showed examples of the Borassus log hives, which you'll hear about in a moment. Are you ready?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Papa.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me. My name is Papa Mbroh from Ghana, and I'm going to talk to you about nature-based beekeeping and also look at some hive types that we are using in Ghana. And then I'll also tell you a bit more about lessons that we have learned over the years working with trees and doing or practicing nature-based beekeeping. So a little bit about my organization. So at Bees for Development, we are promoting sustainable beekeeping, and we are doing this mainly to reduce poverty and build um, rural resilience when it comes to climate change. And whilst we are doing that, it ends up benefiting biodiversity. So we deliver practical beekeeping projects across communities in Ghana, and we are touching and changing livelihood with the help of bees and beekeeping. So our approach is nature-based beekeeping approach, which I will tell you a bit more later. The mission for the organization is we want to lift people out of poverty and to support healthy agricultural and natural landscapes through sustainable beekeeping, which we call nature-based beekeeping. And we envision a country, Ghana, where sustainable beekeeping enhances people's well-being and serves as an incentive for people to care for nature. So a little bit about Ghana and our landscape and what's happening. So Ghana is located in West Africa, and we have diverse agroecological zones from typical tropical rainforest to the savannas. So as you see from the map, it is more green and more forest and a lot of trees in the south than in the northern part of Ghana. So historically, in Ghana, tree beekeeping or beekeeping started as people hunt for honey. So you see this gentleman, I took this picture, I think in 2022, no, 2020. So this gentleman will climb the honey tree or tree with bees in it, and then they will take out the honey. So beekeeping actually started, and it has evolved over the years, and we still looking at beekeeping in different forms, and this is where we are now. So Ghana has rich bee population. I mean, in fact, healthy ones, because we don't have a lot of diseases and problems like there are in other parts of the world, and we have a lot of hives that are made by people, the local people, and these hives are very affordable. So it makes beekeeping very accessible to everyone. So what is nature-based beekeeping? It simply means working with nature and allowing bees to behave as though they are in nature. So hives are set in the natural forest using locally available materials like blocks, weaving basket of grass, and all kinds of beehives that are the materials are taken from the forest or the people's environment. So here attention is paid to the skills that we transfer to the people. So we are building people's skills in how they can make their own beehives, looking at the materials around them. And we also pay close attention to what people can get from the materials around them instead of donating beehives to those people. And when we talk about that, it means that we are going to rely less on donors for hives. And then also, this means is that we are going to conserve the forage and the habitats, the nesting grounds for the bees. We are going to protect that as we are keeping bees. So, tree beekeeping is a tradition in some part of the country. Hives are suspended in trees, not as high as you may find it in East Africa. And these bees that are or the beehive that are suspended in trees are also protected from some pests like ants, which is very common in Ghana. And we make use of the natural forest. So hives are set in the natural forest and they are taking care of them. And whilst we are doing that, people are protecting their hives from bushfire, which I'll tell you a bit more later. So people see trees as a valuable thing that they need to care of because they know that their livelihood actually depends on the trees, as the bees will use the nectar from these trees to produce honey for them. So I just want to show you the kind of beehives that we have. We have what people call traditional versus the improved version. I don't want to use the term modern because I currently do not see any hive that is modern because what we commonly refer to as modern, as Langstroth, was invented many years ago, and the person who invented it even died many years ago, so I don't see anything modern about it. So we have the locally made ones that people can usually make themselves as against the ones that people have to buy. So these are some examples of improved hive types that are used in Ghana. So we have the Kenyan turba, we have the other turba that is has straight edge. This is another type of hive they are all turba hives, but with different kinds of designs. And then also we have these hives that are made from locally available materials, from bamboos, from stakes, from forest ropes, from grasses, from palm fronds, from grasses logs, and things like that. So we teach people how to make these hives, and these are very accessible. People can get the materials around them, and they are able to make beehives and then start beekeeping. So these are photos taken from people's apiaries. You can see people are using all kinds of beehives. And one thing about bees for development is that we don't stop people. We want people to earn livelihood from bees. So no matter whatever you call hive, we only guide you to make sure that you're able to earn from that whilst you are taking care of the bees and caring for nature. So you can see on the left side, you see a turba that has different kind of turbas on it. This is not standardized. It's just piece of stick that people have cut and they have laid them on the top of the wooden box. And on the right is a grass hive with clay that we have used to as the entrance there. And then, as you see from this one on the left is also made from bamboo. Women can do it, everybody can do it, it's accessible to all. And the one we have written the one as women beehive is open from the side, just like the bamboo type on the left. On the streamlet is log hive, normal logs, and the others that you see in the photo. These are all kinds of beehives we are using in Ghana. So on the left, the tree you see there is the borassus, which is very common in most of our project areas. And so we encourage many people to use that because it's very durable. It takes very long time. It doesn't rot, especially the bark. So we can keep bees in it for more than 20, 30, 40 years, and it will still be there. What are some of the beekeeping practices we have in Ghana? So we are teaching people to make their own hives so that they can invest less. They can make as many beehives as possible. We are also teaching people how to establish their own apiaries in natural setting in forests. near their farms. We are also teaching people to catch swarms, bait hives, and do things like that. We also do hive inspection, but we don't open hives like those who are practicing beekeeping in Langstroth do. So hives are usually open once a year. The only time we open is when we are harvesting from them. We also do pest control and weed control. Pests are very important as we have to deal with some small hive beetles. We also deal with Ocophila ants and the likes. Um, we know that bees are very important when it comes to biodiversity, as the trees depend on the bees for pollination services. And we know what happens when we have continuous pollination services. So those who are into plantations like cashew also benefit from the pollination services of bees. And so there is increased cashew nuts yield from people's farms. Um, we know that land, bees, and the people interact with each other in the environment. Healthy land will support flowering plants to produce flowers, which will be enjoyed by bees. Bees will pick those to store as food, and because we have provided bigger space for them, they're able to store more than they need. And so beekeepers who are keeping these bees can also harvest some of the honey and sell to get income. And whilst they are doing this, because they are getting money from the trees, they are getting money from the forest, this motivates them to care for the environment, care for trees, protect the tree, plant more trees, to prevent bushfires in wherever they have placed their hives. What are the benefits people are getting from nature-based beekeeping or tree beekeeping? People are earning income from honey and beeswax. It's creating employment, as many people we trained in the past have also recruited young people, and they are working together. We we are also getting a lot of youth and women in our project. Many of our women have won awards from at the national level, so their women are getting recognition for practicing nature-based beekeeping and improving their livelihood. It is also practice that make people really resilient to climate change, as we are all experiencing the effects of climate change. And there's an opportunity for people to also diversify their income. But all these things we are doing doesn't come without challenge. There are numerous ones, but I'm just going to talk about deforestation. We know that tree beekeeping mainly rely on natural forest setting. And so as many people are cutting trees for timber purposes, for charcoal and things like that, it reduces the tree population, and this affects the nesting site of bees. There is also rampant bushfire in most of the places we work in Ghana, and so sometimes hives are lost, especially those that are not taken very good care of. People lose their hives through bushfire, and so as an organization, we have introduced a lot of campaign messaging and approaches to help people to protect their beehives, their area from bushfire. We have fire volunteers across many of the communities that we work in. And then we are also dealing with pesticide just like any other country. And there is also loss of habitats through farming, through construction, through mining, and all the likes. I want
Papa,
to just
Papa, you have a minute left.
Okay, so I want to share a few things that we have learned in Ghana. We have seen that the tree beekeeping is very affordable and sustainable. And we also know that tree beekeeping supports livelihoods and biodiversity. And we know that with the right support, bees and beekeepers can lead to eco system restoration. And when hives are accessible, beekeeping becomes inclusive, as you know, because women, young people, old people, persons with disabilities can all make their own hives and make money. And so everybody is included. People become self-built. Hives also increase the numbers. And so we are encouraging everybody to practice nature-based beekeeping. I want to leave you with these questions. How can tree beekeeping support conservation? Think about this in your own area. How can indigenous knowledge be preserved? And what opportunities exist for collaboration? Let's think about this, and you can reach out to us whenever you feel like reaching out to us. Thank you very much. And I want to say that tree beekeeping is a relationship between trees, bees, landscape, and the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Papa. And I like how you're ending on this more holistic view. There's lots to be learned from what you're doing in Ghana and what we're going to hear from Robert now in Zimbabwe. The bees are prolific in Africa, as we've learned before at other Honeybee Watch projects and from what Bees for Development have been doing. So thank you for sharing your experience.